chapter 25. The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim the son of Josiah, king of Judah, that was the 1st year of Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, which Jeremiah the prophet spoke unto all the people of Judah, and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, From the 13th year of Josiah the son of Ammon, king of Judah, even unto this day, these 23 years, the word of the Lord is come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, speaking before and often, but you have not hearkened. And the Lord hath sent unto you all his servants the prophets, sending them before and often, but you have not hearkened, nor inclined your ear to hear, saying, Return, you now, every one from his evil way, and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord hath given unto you and your fathers, forever and ever. And go not after other gods to serve them, and to worship them, and provoke me not with the work of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. Yet you have not hearkened unto me, saith the Lord, that you might provoke me with the work of your hands to your own hurt. Therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, because you have not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and I will send unto Nebuchadrezzar the king of Babylon my servant, and will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and I will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and a hissing, and a perpetual desolations. Moreover, I will cause to cease from among them the voice of myrrh, and the voice of gladness, the voice of bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the lamp. And this whole land shall be a desolation and a waste, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, saith the Lord, for their iniquity in the land of the Chaldeans, and I will make it perpetual desolations, and will bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in the book which Jeremiah has prophesied against all the nations. For many nations and great kings shall make bondmen of them. Also I will recompense them according to their deeds, and according to the work of their own hands. For thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, unto me, Take this cup of the wine of fury at my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send you to drink it. And they shall drink, and reel to and fro, and be like madmen, because of the sword that I will send among them. Then took I of the Lord's hand, and made all the nations to drink, unto whom the Lord had sent me, Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them an appallment and an astonishment, and a hissing and a curse, as it is this day. Pharaoh king of Egypt, and his servants, and his princes, and all his people, and all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ashkelon, and Gaza, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyre, and all the kings of Zidon, and all the kings of the isle which is beyond the sea, Dedan, and Tamar, and Buz, and all that have the corners of their hair polled, and all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the wilderness, and all the kings of Zimri, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of Medes, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world, which are upon the face of the earth. And the king of Shishak shall drink after them. And you shall say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Drink you, and be drunken, and spew, and fall, and rise no more, because of the sword which I shall send among you. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at your hand to drink, then shalt you say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, You shall surely drink. For lo, I begin to bring evil on this city whereupon my name is called, and should you be utterly unpunished, you shall not be unpunished. For I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith the Lord of hosts. Therefore prophesy you against them all these words, and say unto them, The Lord doth roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He doth mightily roar because of his fold. He giveth a shout, and as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. A noise is come even to the end of the earth, for the Lord has a controversy with the nations. He doth plead with all the flesh. As for the wicked, he hath given them to the sword, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great storm shall be raised up from the uttermost parts of the earth. And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered, nor buried. They shall be dung upon the face of the ground. Wail, you shepherds, and cry, and wallow yourselves in the dust, you leaders of the flock, for the days of your slaughter are fully come. And I will break you in pieces, and you shall fall like a precious vessel. And the shepherds shall have no way to flee, nor the leaders of the flock to escape. Hark! The cry of the shepherds, and the wailing of the leaders of the flock. For the Lord despoileth their pasture, and the peaceful folds are brought to silence because of the fierce anger of the Lord. He hath forsaken his covert as the lion, for the land is become a waste of the fierceness of the oppressing sword, and because of his fierce anger. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. Well, now yesterday we was talking about these 2 bags of figs, and today we are speaking now in a different time period. This would be during the 4th year of Jehoiakim. Jehoiakim was that one God stood up. That's what it means. God stood up. God stands up. He helped him tilt it up there. And we're going to go ahead and this is it's just a different time period. We're going to find out these prophecies ain't necessarily in order, but it doesn't really matter. The intent of the word is always there. Verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. That was the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. And this would be the word, this would be the understanding that came to Jeremiah, this one whom God appointed, concerning all the people of Judah, the place of praisings, in the 4th year, or this work of God's greater understanding of the one Yah stood up, or Jehoiakim. Now he is the son of Josiah, the one who finds God, and he was the king of that place of praisings. Now this was also the 1st year, or the beginning of a greater understanding of the prophet that protects the crown, who is the king of confusion, or Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. Verse 2. Which Jeremiah the prophet spoke unto all the people of Judah, and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, and these were the words that we're going to hear, that the one whom God appointed, Jeremiah the prophet, unto all the people of praising Judah, and to all the inhabitants of peaceful teachings. This is Jerusalem. 3. From the 13th year of Josiah the son of Ammon, king of Judah, even unto this day, these 23 years, the word of the Lord hath come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, speaking before and often, but you have not listened, you have not hearkened. And this would be the day the prophecies documents, see, the 13th year of Josiah. Now this 13th is probably not exactly the way it would be written. It would probably be written 3 and 10. See, that way, because that's the way you would write 13th, just like down below we have the 3 and 20 years, because this is how numbers are written, usually by the prophets, would be in a set of 2, or sometimes even 3. But this from the 13th year, this 3 and 10th year, the completeness, this would complete the law in the greater understanding for Josiah, the one who found God. And he was the son of Ammon. Ammon is the master workman. He was the king of the place of praisings, even unto this day. And this would be how long he had been prophesying unto this period of time. We suspect that Jeremiah prophesied across the period of 40 years plus. But we're going to find out he's saying now, for these 3 and 20 years, the word of the Lord has come unto me. These three, the complete 20s redemption, or to witness the law, which is redemption, in the greater understanding, these years, speaking before and often, but you have not listened. And God has sent his word by the prophets, speaking before and often. And we're going to find out just what that word is. And the Lord hath sent unto you all his servants, the prophets, sending them before and often, but you have not listened, nor inclined your ear to hear. See, and we're going to find this is exactly the truth. See, this is exact. God has been sending from days of old, before and often, but nobody's listened. Nobody has inclined their ear to hear. Nobody's wanted to hear. 5, saying, return you now every one from his evil way, and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord has given unto you, and to your fathers forever and ever. And what has the Lord been saying? And his prophets, which he has sent from before and often, return. See, return. Why? Because you have turned from the Lord your God. You have turned from the commandment. You have forsaken your oath. You have forsaken the covenant of the Lord your God. He has scattered you into all the nations. Not one word has failed, nor shall it. And he says, return you now, every one from his evil way, from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord has given you unto your fathers forever and ever. The promise stands, this agreement. God will not go back on his work. We'll find out God is working for his name's sake. He has shown himself to all the nations. 6, and go not after other gods to serve them and to worship them, and provoke me not with the work of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. Go not after these not gods, these ones that God is using, see, to rule over all the other nations. This one God is using to rule over all the nations. Provoke me not with the work of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. 7, yet they hearken not unto me, saith the Lord, that you might provoke me with the work of your hands to your own hurt. And that was what was going on then, and that's what's going on today. They will not listen to God. They will not listen to the law of God. Therefore, God done this, and he's done a great and marvelous work. We're going to find out a great judgment even set in the earth. 8. Therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, because you have not heard my words, for this reason, that you have not listened to my words, saying, return to the covenant I gave you from the beginning. 9. Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and I will send unto Nebuchadrezzar the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all the nations round about. And I will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and a hissing, and a perpetual desolations. Behold, watch and see. I will send and take all the families of the north. These are all the ones that was driven into the north country to be used for judgment, because that's where God stores his treasures at, in the north, saith the Lord. And that's where the king of Babylon was. And I will send unto Nebuchadrezzar, the king of Babylon, this prophet that protects the crown, who is the ruler of confusion, my servant, God said, my servant, the one God sent. See, he's going to call for his servant, and it's the king of Babylon. See, he had 2 servants, one who would work good and one who would work evil. And I will bring them against this land and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about. All the nations round about. And remember, terror is all around. And I will utterly destroy them and make them astonishment and a hissing and a perpetual desolation. And this is what God did. And this is what God did then. And this is what God done today. 10. Moreover, I will cause to cease from among them the voice of myrrh and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones and the light of the lamp. And this cause to cease from them is simple. He is going to take it away. Take what away? The voice of happiness and the voice of gladness. That's celebration. That's celebration. See, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride. This is the one who's going to be given into marriage, and this is the one who takes into marriage. This is going into understanding. These are the understandings. It's all going to take, he's taking it all away. See, that's the sound of the millstone grinding away at the harvest. And there's the light of the lamp. What understanding you did have. He put the lamp out. No more shall it light in the window. It's 11. And this whole land shall be a desolation and a waste, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. And this serve the king of Babylon 70 years, this king of confusion, this ruler of confusion for 70 years, this period of a greater understanding, even this 70, which is punishment and restoration, till the whole thing comes, till we perfectly understand the law, till there's perfect understanding of the law. See, that is the greater understanding. That is the redemption that comes from the grace of the law. 12. And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon and the nations, saith the Lord, for their iniquity, and the land of the Chaldeans, and I will make it a perpetual desolation. So after this period of understanding, after this greater understanding comes, this grace that's going to come from the law, which shall be the redemption, or us witnessing the law, or the second punishment even of it. See, after all this is accomplished, that I will punish the king of confusion, and that nation, even that nation God's been using, that's his servant, saith the Lord, for their perversions, their iniquities, and the land of the Chaldeans, and I will make it a perpetual desolation. These Chaldeans are the clod breakers. That's what it means, clod breakers. Clod breakers are the ones that used to follow the plow, and they'd crush the clods or the hard things. The plow would turn up. They were supposed to be the wisest of the land. 13. And I will bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah has prophesied against all the nations. All the curses, everything God said, every word. See, God's words don't go out and fall on the ground. They don't. They come forth like arrows. They come forth like a consuming fire. That's the law. See, they're not like the words of men that go out and fall on the ground. That's why God's curses that are written in this book, the one that God is, whom Yah is appointed to pronounce these words against, to proclaim these words against, as we're going to find out. 14. For many nations and great kings shall make bondmen of them also, and I will recompense them according to their deeds and according to the work of their own hands. All these nations, we're going to see, that are going to bring these ones who God has scattered out in all the earth, going to make them bondsmen, servants, cause them to serve. Once again, I remember in Egypt, God caused them the Pharaoh to exact on them and to bring them under great oppression, so that he could bring them forth out with a mighty hand. Same thing went on then. Same thing going on today. 15. For thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, unto me, take this cup of wine of fury at my hand, and cause the nations to whom I send you to drink it. And this cup of fury, this cup of wine, that cup that makes drunk. See, a little wine's okay, good for the spirit. Too much makes drunk. See, too much. And this is a just reward that comes from the wine. But this is the fury of God. This is the punishment of God. This is his judgment that he has given my hand for the work that he does, that you might have understanding and know God does these things. But he sends him to who? We're going to find out just who Jeremiah goes to, this one whom God has appointed. 16, and they shall drink and reel to and fro, and be like madmen because of the sword that I will send among them. So they will be made drunk. See, they're going to drink too much. We're going to find out. They're going to drink too much because that was the purpose of the wine. That was the purpose of the understanding. Remember, God said, who shall go forth for us? And the one said, I will go. How will you prevail? I will go forth as the lying spirit into the mouths of their prophets. And God said, go, you will prevail. And he went forth. 17, then took I the cup of the Lord's hand, and made all the nations to drink unto whom the Lord had sent me. And that's what happened then. See, this cup of wrath God had sent, this cup of drunkenness God had sent, this spirit that would make drunk all the nations of the earth. We're going to find out all the nations of the earth. 18, Jerusalem, and the cities of Judah, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them an appallment, an astonishment, a hissing, a curse, as it is this day. To who? To Jerusalem, that place of peaceful teachings, the cities of Judah, the places of praisings, and the kings thereof, these rulers thereof, all the authority thereof, and the princes thereof, all the sons of the king, to make them an appallment, a jaw dropper, this appallment, this hissing, astonishment, and amazement, and a curse, as it is this day. For we see the hand of the Lord is still upon it, even greatly. 19. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants, and his princes, and all his people. Pharaoh, this great house, he's the ruler of Egypt, this place of enclosures, and his servants, all those ones that take their orders from him, and his princes, those that are born from his understanding, and all his people. 20. And all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the king of the land of the Philistines, and Ashkelon, and Gaza, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, all the mingled people. See, all those ones that have gone in, those that have mingled together, those from this land and went over to this land, and all the mingled people, all those ones, we're just going to catch all those that have been stirred in the pot. And all the king of the land of Uz, and Uz are those that are of counsel and advice. These are all the kings, the rulers thereof, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, these wanderers, these drifters who drifted from the law of God. And Ashkelon, this place of weighing, a place of judgment, where they're weighed out, and Gaza, place of strength, the stronghold, and Ekron. Ekron is that place that was ripped up by the roots. Those were the remnant of Ashdod. Remember, Ashdod, that power? That was that power that was used for authority. See, they used it for the wrong reason. 21, and Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon. Edom, those that show the blood and the flesh, those that have made a covenant with the flesh. And Moab, that which from his father, those that were born from that ancestral relationship, and the children of Ammon, that's the children of the nations. Children of all the nations. 22, and all the kings of Tyre, and all the kings of Zidon, and all the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, and all the kings of Tyre. Tyre was that great merchant city, the rock. That was the way they was going to make progress. And the kings of Didon, these were the place of the fishermen, all those that fish for the souls of men and hunt the souls of men, the authority thereof, and the kings of the isles beyond the sea. These places that create these isolations. 23. Didon and Taman, Boots, and all that have the corners of their hair pole. We remember those, all these nations that God cut them off. He cut them off, he rounded them off, cut off the edges to make this go round and round. Who's Didon? That's that lowland, the place of the flesh, where all the flesh dwell. They're like the dead there. See, that's those that love it so. Tamah, that's the desert place, that dry desert, parched land. Nothing's going to grow there. Only thing will come from there, boots, that which springeth of evil. See, they have the hair pulled off. They're cut off. God's cut them off, and he set this in motion, made it round. 24, and all the kings of Arabia, and the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the wilderness, these that dwell by the steppe. This is what Arabia means. Not necessarily the land of Arabia. Arabia is used so we will see that these are those that dwell in the steppe. And what do we get there by the steppe? We get a little shadow down there in the corner, and that's where they're trying to hide. But see, there's no place to hide. Even those that dwell in the wilderness, place where the words drive out. See, the prophets of old used a language because they was used. Israel was a people quite acquainted with captivity. They had a language even of captivity. Names and numbers were used to relay messages to ones who had understanding, to ones who did have understanding, whereas the rest around wouldn't be able to understand. See, and we witness this through the prophets, these language of captivity. 25, and all the kings of Zimri. These are my music makers, and we're going to find out God's music makers are those ones that are carrying out judgment. And all the kings, these authorities of Elam, these are those that think they inhabit eternity. They think they inhabit eternity. And all the kings of the Medes, these of the middle ground which God raised up. 26, and all the kings of the north, far and near one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world which are upon the face of the earth, and the king of Shishak shall drink after them. The kings of the north, this is where God stores his judgment. Those are cold and dark and bitter, far and near, everybody, one and with another, all the kingdoms of the world. Everybody, all the kingdoms of the world, all these different places that have a ruler and authorities, and those king and their kingdoms, those dominions in which they rule, which are upon the face of the earth, there will be none to escape. And the king of Shishak shall drink after them. And this Shishak is he that has the fine linen. This is the one that is the fine linen, who God has set there, going to make an example of. 27, and you shall say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts of Israel, Drink you and be drunken, and spew and fall and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. This was the word God said, and he said, This shall you say unto them. The God of Israel has said this, Drink you, and you have, and be drunken, and you are, and spew and fall, puke and fall into it. And there you are, rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. And this sword is judgment. This is the law even God set there from the beginning. From the beginning, establish it for your own good. You did not heed, you did not listen. 28, It shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at your hand to drink, then shalt you say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, You shall surely drink. See, you cannot refuse. God done it, it's done. It's a done deal, as we're going to find out. See, the sentence is done, carried out, the judgment went forth, and immediately the sentence was carried out. See, the law goes forth, and immediately the sentence goes with it, right after it, dead on its heels. 30, Therefore prophesy you against them all these words, and say unto them, The Lord doth roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He doth mightily roar because of his fold. He giveth a shout, as they that tread the grapes, against all the inhabitants of the earth. With a mighty shout has he done this against all the inhabitants of the earth, just like those that used to tread the grapes during the harvest season when they treaded the grapes out, and this sweet, sweet wine, that it's not wine, it's the juice made pure from the grape, sweet, hasn't fermented. And all these words, you've heard them all. Lord doth roar on high. See, God is roaring. His words going forth like a mighty voice. And you'll hear it in the end, like a great shout. 31, and noise has come even to the end of the earth, for the Lord has a controversy with the nations. He doth plead with all flesh. As for the wicked, he hath given them to the sword, saith the Lord. A noise has come to the end of the earth. At this end time, when this word is heard, when the understanding goes forth that God has wrought a great victory against all the nations of the earth, and he pleads with all flesh. As for these wicked, we're going to find out. See, God's done delivered them to the sword. He's done delivered them to the law. They are in ignorance of the law. They are made blind. They are made deaf. They cannot see nor hear. The Lord has done this as a witness before the end come. 32, thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and great storms shall be raised up from the uttermost parts of the earth. Behold, look, watch, listen, witness it. Evil has gone forth from nation to nation, and a great storm has raised up from the uttermost parts of the earth. These things have come to pass. 33, and the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the face of the ground. Slain by the law of God, slain by the sword of God. See, God delivered all the nations up. And they said, how will he do it? Now you have understanding. 34, wail, you shepherds, and cry, and wallow yourselves in the dust, you leaders of the flock, for the days of your slaughter are fully come, and I will break you in pieces, as you shall fall, like a precious vessel. Wail and cry, you shepherds. You're not shepherds. Wolves. These are the ones that are supposed to be feeding the flock, teaching, understanding, giving the word of God out so they could turn the people from their wickedness. Now wallow yourselves in dust. For dust you came, and dust you shall return. You leaders of the flock. You put yourself in that position. You took it up. You wanted it. Flee. For the days of your slaughter are fully come. And this is the day which you'll be destroyed, the understanding which you'll be taking. See, when the law of God comes out, and with every stroke he slays you. 35, and the shepherds shall have no way to flee, nor the leaders of the flock to escape. There ain't going to be no place to run, I told you. High noon. Everything's made known. Truth comes out. We see your fat seat and your deeds. God made them known. God declared it. His prophets have declared it constantly. 36, hark! The cry of the shepherds and the wailing of the leaders of the flock. For the Lord despoileth their pasture. Hark! From the fish gate even. The cry of the shepherds. Supposed to be feeding the flock. The wailing of the leaders of the flock. For the Lord has spoiled your pasture. 37, and the peaceable folds are brought to silence because of the fierce anger of the Lord. Those ones, they thought they were made to lay down in peace. Oh, peace, peace, peace. There has been no peace. What do you know about peace? 38, and he hath forsaken his covert as the lion, for their land is become a waste because of their fierceness of the oppressing sword, and because of his fierce anger. God has forsaken his hiding place. Like a lion, come out to tear and rip and destroy. And their land has become. Now their land shall become a waste. And this fierce anger of the oppressing sword, even those lying words from the Spirit that went forth into the mouth of their prophets to deceive all the earth. This is God's fierce anger. This is God's punishment. It's already said. It's judgment in the earth. Turn and return. Let's move on to chapter 26.